All right, let's talk today about what is your big why and how can you dig deep to find the real why behind your why.
This video was brought to you by Master Your Mind, Whitney's new mindset course. She knows that the worst part about getting started in real estate is convincing yourself to take action, and that everything you want is on the other side of that conversation with yourself. You'll learn Whitney's personal strategies for digging deep into your story, discovering your biggest motivators, and stopping the negative self-doubt once and for all. It's all about mindset. And if you're ready to transform your limiting mindset into a money-making mindset, head over to whitneynicely.com/mindset today.
Okay, so when you get started real estate investing, when you get started in business, one of the first things that all the coaches, all the people are going to have you talk about is we're going to talk about your why. Why do you want to be in business? Why do you want to make another $10,000 a month? Why do you want passive income? Why do you want generational wealth? Why? Now, that's all fine. But if I hear another woman tell me that her why is her husband and her kids, I may go crazy. Okay? Your husband and your kids are the beginning of your why. It's not your actual why. And when I started real estate investing, I didn't have a husband, and I still don't have any kids. That's not my why. All right? And it might not be your why either. And I want you to release all the guilt, all the shame around not giving a cookie cutter answer. Okay, look, y'all, I'm not your pastor. I'm not your preacher. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your mom. I'm not your mother-in-law. You don't have to give me your fluffy answer about why you want to be a real estate investor. You can tell me the truth. But before you can tell me the truth, you have to be able to tell yourself the truth. Why do you really want to be a real estate investor? Why do you actually want to make another 6 figures a year? Why do you want to have generational wealth? What is the why behind your nice fluffy why? And it might surprise you and you might not want to admit it to yourself, but talking out loud and saying it out loud and thinking about it and being okay with it and realizing that your why doesn't have to be a nice cookie cutter why. It doesn't have to be my why. In fact, I want you to examine your why so closely that it looks like a neon sign above your head. But the secret is nobody can see that sign but you. You're the only person that can see your big why like a neon sign above your head. All right. What am I talking about? Right? That's the question. I know. So my why when I got started was that I was bored. Let's just be honest with each other. I was bored. I was working at my family's dump truck company. My great-grandfather started a dump truck company in 1939, and my grandfather went to work for him. Then my mom went to work for them after she graduated high school, and it was expected that after I graduated college, I would go to work for the family company, all right? My dad always told us that our bucks come from trucks. My dad didn't work in the family company. He was a train engineer. It's not my dad's company. It's my mom's family company. My mom started her own dump truck company in 2003, the same year that I was graduating high school. My mom struck out on her own and made her own company. My mom has always been a real estate investor. So in 2007, when I graduated college and the economy was in the tanks, I just went to work for the family business, and 4 years later, I had a big shakeup at the family business. My papa, who I'd grown very close to over the last 4 years, just up and died on me one day. And trucking had gotten to be pretty fun because I was hanging out with my papa and doing things with him and working and all the things. And then when he passed in 11, I kind of slopped through 2012 trying to find myself. And one day in 2013, I was watching my mom make the bank deposit. And I'd watched her do this for years. I mean, since I was a little kid, I'd watch my mom put rent checks in the bank. But it was different. Something about it was different. And I said, Mom, how do you get that money every month? She said, well, I've got rental houses. People pay us rent every month. And so I just get money in the mailbox every single month. And I thought, well, how could I get money in the mailbox every single month? And she said, well, go figure it out. So I was 2012, 2013, I was trying to find myself. I was trying to find where I fit in. And I just got bored with trucking. It didn't excite me anymore. I cried on the way to the office sometimes. I cried on the way home from the office sometimes. It didn't light my soul on fire. It didn't give me a reason to get out of bed anymore. It lost its spark when my papa passed, and I hadn't found it yet. But when I was watching my mom make these deposits, I thought, my papa was a real estate investor. My mom is a real estate investor. My uncle's a real estate investor. My cousins are. I think my whole family is a real estate investor except for me. What can I do to catch up? Because my mom had been investing for like 40 years at this point. And she had 6 or 7 houses, and that was cool. But I wanted to figure out how I could get 6 or 7 houses in like a year instead of 40 years. So my whole why started because I was bored. But I had a spark of an idea, and I could see everybody around me was a real estate investor, but I needed a way to get in and get in fast. And I knew that the way they bought houses was to save up a bunch of money from the trucking company. And I was making like $2,000 a month. So if I was going to save up a bunch of money, it was going to take me forever to save up enough money to get started, or so I thought. So I decided I would become a real estate investor, but I was going to do it differently than they did. And I didn't know what that meant. But I got a real estate license because I thought that would help. Nobody else in my family has a real estate license. Then I got an auctioneer's license because I thought that would help. Nobody else in my family has an auctioneer's license. I got a general contractor's license thinking that would help. I did all of these things to set myself up to be a real estate investor before I even made the first attempt at real estate investing. That's crazy. Don't do that. But anyway, that was the situation. That was the landscape that I was looking at. That was the environment that I'd grown up in. Everybody in my family was small business owners and real estate investors. I was bored. I could see that there was money out there to be made, but I wanted to do it my own way. I didn't want to do it the way that they did. I didn't want to wait 40 or 50 years to get my slice of the pie. I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to speed it up. I wanted to show them that I could do this on my own without them. That was my why. I wanted to make my family proud of me. I wanted to be able to stand up on my own as a small business owner. I wanted to make my own money and not live on an adult allowance that my mom gave me for working at her trucking company. I wanted to stand up on my own. I wanted to know that I was the decision maker, that if something needed to be changed or adapted, or if there was a big win or if there was a big loss, I wanted to know that it was me. I wanted to put my stamp out on the world. I wanted to have some fun. I wanted to start something from the ground and build it up. I was working in an 80-year-old company, and I was looking around at a lot of 80-year-old people. And I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to do things ways that we hadn't been doing them for the last 80 years. That was my why. My why boiled down to I would do anything to keep myself from being bored. I would do anything to make my parents proud of me. I would do anything legal to show these people that I was smart and that I was capable and that I could be a business owner myself, and I didn't have to just wait on somebody else to give me something. I was smart, I was determined, and I was going to make it happen. Maybe that's selfish. Maybe that's some pride. But I got to tell y'all, your why has got to be so deep inside of you that it feels like a fire is burning inside of you. Because your why is going to be the reason you get out of bed and go to work when you don't feel like it. Your why is going to be the reason that you get out in a rainstorm to keep your jobs going. Your why is going to be the reason that you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you got to get up at 6. But it's also going to be the reason that you're up at 6 so that you don't have to be somebody else's person by 8 or 9. I would do anything to keep myself from having to go to a job where my mom told me what time to clock in. She told me what time I could leave. I would do anything. I would work my fingers to an absolute bone before I could go back and do that. My why was because I don't want to be bored. I want to make my own stance. I want to get out there. I want to do my own deals. I want to have my own portfolio. I want to work hard and know that it was my name on the bottom line. My why is me. And I have a very sneaking suspicion that your why will also boil down to you. What do you want? And it doesn't have to be what you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be what you think other people want from you or for you. Your why is all about you. And the reason I don't want you to tell me it's for your husband and kids is that's the start of a lot of people's whys, okay? One why that I have, one why that I record these videos, one why that I have as to why I help women and I help them get their deals done is also my husband and my future kids. But beyond that, it's because I never want to ask my husband for money. I never want to depend on my husband to provide insurance or retirement or a savings plan or the ability to pay the light bill. I never, ever want to have to look to him to give me an allowance or to give me money or for him to spoil me. If I want something, I want to be able to go buy it, damn it. I love him. And I love it when he does buy me stuff. I'm not saying that. It's that I don't ever want to be in a position where I depend on him for every decision I make, every penny that comes into my account. That is my why in regards to my husband. Another why in regards to my husband is that I would like to build up my business so big that my husband is a brilliant, beautiful man in numbers and Excel, and he helps businesses buy other businesses, and he helps other people improve their business functionality and all these things that I don't even understand. Like, he's brilliant. But I would like to build up my business so big that I could bring him on as a full-time employee, but not because he's sleeping with the boss, but because he is the most capable person to help me go buy businesses. Or he is the most capable person to help me analyze my business and how I can make more money with my business. Not just that I want to retire my husband. Women tell me that all the time. Like, wow, what are you going to do? Let him sit around and play golf? Oh, hell no. You know, just sitting around playing golf and spending my money. No, you can work and you can help me. All right. I will build up this business though, so that we can both have a big business that we are going to create together in the future, but it's going to start with mine. All right. And my future kids, a lot of women are like, I'm going to start real estate investing for my kids. Well, yeah, I get it. All right. And I plan on having kids in the next 10 or 15 years. So, all right. But why? What was it about your childhood that would have been better or easier if your mom had passive income coming in every month? Because let me tell you, my mom had real estate investments when I was a kid. All right. And I don't remember ever like struggling for money. I remember business ideas, business discussions being held at dinner, but I also remember my mom teaching me how to make the deposit. I remember my mom negotiating rents. I remember my mom hiring contractors to go fix the plumbing. And that is my why for my kids. Not that I want to build up this big portfolio and say, here you go, honey, here's money. No, it's so that they can learn how to be a successful real estate investor when they're 8, so that when they're 18, they can be ready to buy properties. They can be ready to manage properties. I didn't learn how to really do that on my own until I was 28. My mom didn't really include me in those conversations. So my why for my kids is so that they will be a bigger, badder, bossier version of me, all right? So that they won't worry about what I can give them, but what head start they will have on life. Because guys, listen, real estate investing, being a landlord, is not a new thing, all right? People have been doing this for centuries and passing on the properties to their kids and their grandkids and their kids and their grandkids. I mean, the freaking Queen of England, you know how they make all their money, the royal family? They have rental properties. That's where the majority of their money comes from. But they train people. They train their kids and grandkids on how to properly run those so they don't just waste it and waste a good opportunity. Oh, no. I'm building this up so that when my kids get ready to start building up their portfolio, I can help them. I can offer them lots of different strategies. My mom only knew one way to buy houses because her dad only taught her one way to buy houses. My kids, they're going to know 16 different ways that they can get a property under contract and control that thing and make money off of it every single month. And I don't care if they can pass high school algebra. My kids are going to know how to make some freaking money. All right? That's a skill set. That's my why. I don't care if my kids go to college. I don't care what they do with their life. I don't care if they want to be a dentist. I know that whatever they decide they want to do, whatever their dream is that they're going to become when they grow up, I know that they will always have a side pot, a side hustle, a side income of real estate investments. Because I'm going to teach them how to do that. I'm going through the struggles right now. I'm going through the pain right now. I'm going through the growth spurts right now so that it'll be easier for them in the long term. Not just so that I can hand them a bunch of deeds and they won't have any idea what to do with it. No, that's my why for my kids. My kids will never be hungry. My kids will never know what a true struggle is. My kids will understand business. My kids will understand what really makes the world go around. And I know it's easy to say because I don't have kids yet. But my stepsons understand more about real estate investing than a lot of adults. Because they're just around it. They hear me talking about it. They see people coming to our house who want to talk about real estate investing. They understand the basics. And when that day pops on in their head where they're like, holy crap, I think I should pay more attention to this, I'll be there to help them too. That's my why as far as my husband and kids. Dig down deep. Don't give me your light and fluffy why, but tell me in the comments, what is your true why? What is your selfish, unreasonable, embarrassing, true why? Why do you want an extra $10,000 a month? Why are you going to be willing to put in blood, sweat, and tears to this business? What is on the other side of this work that truly sets your heart on fire? Not your passion project, all right? I could say that my why is one day I want to open a farm for dogs. And any dog that doesn't get adopted in a certain amount of time, they won't be able to be killed. They'll come to my farm for dogs. That's a why. That's a real driving force that I have in my heart. I want to have 20 acres with lots of barns, lots of fields, lots of play places so that no dog in East Tennessee ever gets killed. They can come live on my farm. That's a real why. That's a why that I could write down. I could put money goals beside it. I could put time goals beside it. I could put property parameters around it. That's a real why, y'all. So tell me, what is your real, true, ugly why?